TheZenWitch here to talk to you about something that I get asked about very frequently. It's probably um, like number one when it comes to ritual and magic and things like that, and that is about house blessings. I've been asked to do many, many house blessings over the year. I do it every year for my place, and um, any intent to go through your house and clean it and clear it and uplift the energy is a house blessing, basically. But if you want to talk about, energetically and magically really cleaning things up and buttoning them up tight, um, I'd like to tell you how I do it. And anybody can go in and bless a space, at all, but it's going to be far more powerful um, for the person who owns that space to do it. So if I come to your house, if you just bought a house, I've done it for new houses, I've done it for places that people have lived for a long, long time. You buy a new place, you want to clear it of the other people's energy, um, and they'll call and say, can you do a house blessing? Well, what I do is guide you through blessing your house because it's so much more powerful when you have a claim to that territory. Whether you rent it or you own it, that you have a claim to that territory. And a legitimate claim, there's a boundary right there. Okay. So when you do your own house blessing, you have that legitimate claim and you're stacking on top of that energetic boundaries to button things up real tight. So let me bring in some stuff here and show you the tools that I use to do a house blessing. Basically, it's, a basic altar setup. Whoops. There we go. But you can do it absolutely simply. You can do it very elaborately. Lots of leeway there. So I'm going to talk about the most simple way to do this. Okay. The most simple way is to walk through with your, the elements that you carry in your body, and call on those to create the energetic barriers. And those, of course, would be, your breath is the air, your blood is the water, your body is the earth, your will is the fire, all right, and your spirit. So you can do that, but to use some tools, because tools are evocative and they're effective. And they're effective because they're evocative. Things mean much more magically and have much more power and resonance when they have meaning for you. Okay, again, this is territory. You are claiming a specific thing. I have a personal connection with this, and any tool that you use that helps you feel that connection and feel that energy is a very good tool. And it's also possible to do magic with no tools whatsoever because you have everything you need right here. So let's talk about basic tools for doing a house blessing. Number one, a bell. All right, this is a chime. And any kind of bell. I don't care if it's just a jingle bell. A bell is a bell. I prefer ones that have nice, clear, long-lasting, pure tones, but, I'm a musician. Any bell will do. There's a reason that churches have bells, okay? Bells dispel negativity. When you hear the sound of bells, that is vibration. That is literally sound vibration moving through the air. So it clears things out, and it's putting out a particular tone, and things that don't vibe with that tone sort of get swept away. So you can get very involved, of course, in like what exact pitch you want and what you're doing for rituals and everything. Totally not necessary in this case. Totally not necessary unless you want to go that far and, have at it if you do. Magic is more than anything your creativity. Your creativity with intent behind it in order to shift and move energies. Okay, so a bell, and this clears the energy. You'll need a smudge pot, and you'll need a bowl of salt water. All right, and there are, of course, you can go bless things. You start with fresh water and then add the salt, and there are blessings that go with that. If your intent is take a bowl of water and say, "Be pure for my purpose. Be pure and help me out here." And then you take some table salt, throw in 3 pinches, be pure and help me out here, and combine with this water. And just, Magic is according to your will, your will in alignment with higher energies. So, whatever you say to make it so, as long as you mean those words, there's magic in them. Okay, so we got the bell, we got the smudge pot, and this is going to be air and fire. You light it on fire and it makes smoke. That's air and fire, the masculine elements. This is water and earth, which are the feminine elements. This cleans and charges, air and fire. Okay, the bell sort of clears on a vibrational level. This cleans and charges, purifies and charges. This blesses and, I say, makes whole. Bless and make whole. And that is just to make it, to heal it, to make it a whole and healthy on the physical level, earth or water and earth. So that combines the two elements. And the first thing that you're going to want to do, and like I said, we're going to start at the most basic level. I tend to start down low, start like in the basement or ground level and work my way up. If it makes more sense to you to start at the top and work your way down, that works too. If it makes more sense to start in the bathroom first to you, whatever makes the most sense to you and can help you to feel, the will and the power of what you're doing, that's the way to do it. Okay? So most basic, you go into a space, the person that owns the space, and let's say a whole family lives there. Well, the people, staking the big claim can be the people in whose name the mortgage is, or, and then each of the people, claims their own room as their own personal space. Each person can do a specific thing in all of the rooms. Like one person carries the smudge, one person carries the water, that kind of stuff. You guys decide. But if there's a group of people living in the space, it's very important that the whole group take part and that everyone's will and intent is pointed towards this, okay? So, of course, the first thing you're going to do is ground yourself and put roots down in the ground and drain out anything that you don't need for this purpose, all right? And then you put a feeler out into the cosmos and hook in with the cosmic energy and let those, hold you in balance. I'll do another whole video on that. But you want to go into a room wherever you're starting. Go in and open up all the cupboards, all the closets, and you can even crack the drawers a little bit. Sometimes you got to be careful if opening up all the drawers in a chest, it might tip it forward. So just open enough to be open, symbolically, and then you go in, and whoever's going to be the person making the statement rings the bell. I'm going to do this softly because it's really loud. Okay. And just walks the space. And while that bell is ringing, this is the most important part, I think. That person makes a statement. I'm ringing this bell to clear this space of any negativity, of anything that is not wanted, of anything that's not specifically asked for to be here for our well-being and highest good. Something like that. Anything that is not in line with this vibration must leave now. And you ring that bell and walk it around the space. Okay? And many times you can ring it again and again, inside the closets, inside the doors. If you're in a room where there's a particular issue, concentrate on that. Aim the sound at it. Clean it with the bell. All right? And let yourself get into this. Let yourself play. If it feels weird to you, because you've never done ritual, then let's pretend. Let's pretend we're witches. Let's pretend that that this really works and that I have this power. And then you'll do it, right? So that's the first thing, is the bell and the statement of, I claim this space. And let me just say here too, that we all have our personal guides and guardians that we want near us. We start by asking them for their help. Support me in doing this. But what you want to do is clear the space of everything and then specifically invite back in the things that you want to be there. Okay, and your guides will understand that. So then the next thing you want to do is go through the room with the smudge. I'm actually going to light this. Got a bowl of water over there for safety purposes. Okay. So you walk around the room with the sage. If you want to go counterclockwise, which is the banishing direction, Widdershins, with the sage and think of banishing any negativity, you can do that. If it makes more sense to you to go clockwise the whole way, I'm creating a clean space, then do it that way. Again, what makes sense to you, all right? And you want to make sure that the smoke gets into closets, into cupboards, kind of carry it along the drawers and, gently fan it in so you can see that, it has touched everything. And you don't, if you want to say something out loud, you can, you don't have to, but in your head, with air and fire, I am cleansing and charging this space. Okay, purifying and waking it up with the fire. So, and you could say cleansing and claiming this space. Fire is, claiming is a fire thing for sure. So I'm cleansing and claiming this space. And you can say, nothing negative can reside here, nothing that's, harmful to any of us. I mean, every way you can say nothing that can hurt me or my family can be here, is what to do with the sage. All right. Then you go around with the salt and water and sprinkle all around the perimeter of the room. And you can, go like this inside of closets and things. Be aware of what you're flicking it on. If there's something that can get damaged by having a little bit of salt water on it, be careful. But flick it around the room. And then we need to seal things up. All right. So when you're going around a room too, other places to really pay attention to are anything that's an inlet or an outlet into a house, because if something's an outlet, it can also let things in. So pay attention to drains, windows, doors to the outside, vents, faucets. Okay, so your toilet, your faucets in the bathroom and the kitchen, the vents that ventilate the bathroom, the stinky fan. Usually there's a vent above your stove or somewhere in the kitchen to vent out smoke and heat and stuff. The faucets for where your washer and dryer, your washer gets the water from, and the hose that goes out of the washer goes into a drain either in the wall or down in the floor. So everything, heating duct, the dryer vent, all of these things are inlets and outlets. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is make sure when you're smudging, you acknowledge those places, make the smoke go there. But then when you go around with the salt and water, what you're going to be doing is sealing things up. Okay, so you're going to make an invoking pentagram because you're sort of invoking a barrier there. You could do a banishing pentagram and saying I'm warding off things. Both of those work. It just depends on how you want to spin it, right? What do I say? A good witch can make anything work. It just depends on how you want to spin it, right? So an invoking pentagram is starting at the top and then coming down and across with the right hand. You're coming down and across your body, and you use your right hand because that's the creating hand. If you happen to have a dominant left hand, or that's your creating hand, then do it the other way. But you come down across your body. So for you, if you want to mirror me, it would come down like this. Okay, so like on a window, you're touching the top and the bottom left corner and the right middle and the left middle and the bottom right corner and the top again with salt water. If you can't reach things, flick it. Flick, flick in the direction. Okay, the intent sends it there. And the intent with this is I am sealing this up against anything harmful that could possibly come to me and my family. I am sealing this up so that only good things and beneficial things stay in this space, whatever you want to say. Okay, but the salt water is what seals things up. So make sure that your threshold is, particularly buttoned up. Mirrors too. Mirrors are silver backed. That's an extreme psychic conductant. Make sure you smudge your mirrors. Make sure you bless the mirrors. Okay? Every single one in your house. They catch energy. There's a reason that when there's a death in the family, old fashioned rules was you covered all the mirrors. And that was because they used to have, people would die at home most often, and they would even have funerals or a wake at the home. And so the mirrors could catch somebody's shade, somebody's, spirit, and hold it there. Could be a way for them to get back in. So all the mirrors were covered when there was a mourning period in a house. So you want to make sure you do the mirrors as well. Now, if you want to, if you've got more people in your family and everybody wants a role, split the elements out. Say that the smudge is just air. Or you can, if you can't do smudge, just go through with a feather. Okay, a feather or even a cloth fan that's going to move the air. Those things all would work. And then your fire element will be a candle. And you just carry it around to bring the light. So this, you know, the smudge or the air would be to cleanse and purify the space. The fire would be to charge the space and bring enlightenment there. Hold on. Thank you. Then split the salt and the water. The water can be to bless, and then you go around the perimeter of the room with just salt. Okay. To seal up, I'd still say, you know, probably salt water is the most practical thing. Because it'll be hard to put, you know, crystals of salt on the windowsill. Anyway, you can get as, you know, the point is you can get as elaborate or as simple as you want with it. But the main thing is about blessing the space and claiming, staking claim to your space. Now, I have here other tools that you can use, you know, your thame. This is a wand of selenite. So afterwards, you know, when I keep things buttoned up tight, I have a little bit more elaborate of a process. And you can also, after you do, you know, the elements and sealing everything up, then you can do something like light a charcoal and bless the space with some blessing incense like frankincense and myrrh. And I'm going to put you out. I have the most wonderful sage. It's very dry, and so it burns like mad. Okay. And you can think you put it out, and it keeps going and going and going. All right. So I've got my tongs here. Got my charcoal. And as I said, I've got water sitting next to me. Use tongs to light your charcoal. Although, you know, I admit that I may or may not have done a video of me lighting a charcoal without tongs. So, if you're going to do this, what I have here is my little cauldron, my ceramic cauldron. It is full of sand and a pretty good layer of ash as well by now. The charcoal sits down in there. And it's up on 3 legs, but I also have it on a little glass stand there because, you know, the ceramic gets hot as well. So just keep things as safe as you can keep them. There are my tongs. So if you're going through the house, then to really bless everything. So you've cleaned it and sealed everything up. You've swept everything out, locked the doors. That's another thing you can do is use a broom to sweep energies out, you know. And then lock the doors. So now what you want to do is really invite the best of everything in. All right. The best of everything that you want, all the blessings that you want in your home. This is where you invite in the guardians of your family, everybody's personal guardians. And you maybe the guardians of the land as well, you know, particularly if you own the land. But you got to be careful there. You always want to put the disclaimers in as long as they are here for our highest well-being and to do us no harm whatsoever. Like that. Okay, hold on. My sage really took off and it's getting me in the throat. Okay. And then, so let's do a little bit of, let's add some more to make me choke. Okay. I'll do it just a little bit. Usually when I do ritual, I like to do what I call laying down the or mastering fog. Okay. That's frankincense. That is the solar. So that brings in the blessings of the god, the masculine. And this is myrrh, which is the feminine. And that brings in the blessings of the goddess. So you burn those. And this is still going. Crazy. Okay. burn those, carry them around, say joyful things, say wonderful things, say things that make you feel powerful in your space and feel like there's going to be a lot of joy and happiness and health and partying and prosperity and, all of that stuff that we all want and need. Then, this is something else. This is a selenite rod, okay? And my favorite lapidary store has wonderful packages of 5 of these. So I have one of these in every corner of our home downstairs. And, that energy goes down and up. So, and we don't have a basement, so this is on the ground floor. And then the 5th one I keep on my altar, where things are always clean and buttoned up tight. And, I keep my home buttoned up tight too. This also sits below my altar. This is a glorious black tourmaline that my daughter got me for Yule a couple years ago. It's amazing. And that is a fabulous grounding stone that sits under my altar. And my altar is kind of the energetic hub for the house. So that grounds my altar. And then I've got the selenite. Selenite crystals clear energies. So keep one on your computer or between you and your computer, because they absorb and transform negative energies. Don't get these wet. They dissolve. Okay. So there's the smudge going up. Now, when to bless your house. I do a house blessing on Samhain and on calendar New Year's, and whenever I feel like it needs it. I keep my place, like I said, buttoned up pretty damn tight all the time. And I have my guides. I've got a guide that's in each quarter, and, they keep us really safe and everything's good here. But every once in a while, something gets in. A person can come to visit, or just, by dynamics that are going on between people, they can make a weak spot and shit gets in, or they can be overtly invited in. You just didn't realize what you were doing. There's a lot of things like that. And anytime somebody's feeling icky or unsafe, or like, there's some more here than just us chickens, do a house blessing. Do it whenever you feel the need to do it. But, Samhain is pagan New Year, so I'll do it on Samhain. And the veil is very thin there, so things can cross either way. And then usually around solstice or around calendar New Year, I'll do it as well. Kind of when the house goes through big changes, because when things change, the boundaries get thin and things can get in. So if you're, rearranging furniture, or you're moving somebody in or moving somebody out, or you're just changing stuff around in a major way, or things like decorating for the holidays, after we put the Yule decorations away, it's time to just clean the space. We're cleaning everything else, clean and clear it energetically as well. So that's it. That's pretty much all I have to say about house blessing at this point. Tell me what you do down in the comments below. I'd like to know what other people's ideas are and what you do. Again, magic needs to resonate for you. And my 2 allergies, superstition and dogma. Ritual is a creative thing, and the more creative it is, the more powerful it is. So bless your homes, make good, clear psychic space around you, around you and your family, and see how much of a difference it makes on a daily basis. It also requires you to get meditative in your home. A house blessing is taking that mindful state into every room of the house and maybe regarding your home in a way that you normally don't, with more aware and awake eyes, and more loving eyes, more blessing eyes, more kind of sacred vision, So anyhow, I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for sticking around for 25 minutes. And I will see you next time. Like and subscribe if you did, in fact, like it. Share it, please. And I will see you next time. This is the Zen Witch. Blessed be.